Hello everyone, welcome to Tarun IAS. This is your host and host Shivam Shukla. So today I am back with a new video in the series Top 75 Issues in News. Today's issue is delegated legislation in India and what are the issues associated with it and what are the suggestions to improve those issues. Okay, and why this particular topic I have chosen? Number one, this topic has been in news due to a Supreme Court order on the ultra wires. In which Supreme Court observed that delegated legislation which is ultra vires the Parent Act cannot be given any effect. It means any legislation which has been declared null and void by the court cannot be in its delegated legislation cannot be continue to give effect. So this should be turned ultra vires and should be considered null and void. Okay, so these were the justices, Justice Dinesh Maheshwari and Justice J.B. Pardiwala delivered this particular issue. Let's see what was the court's observation. So court said that delegated legislation cannot be given effect if the Parent Act has been declared null and void. Parent Act, what is Parent Act? Sometimes what happens is a Parent Act exists at the central level and higher authority at the central level gives permission to the state authority or maybe the local authority to frame laws and rules at the local level. Okay, at that local government's level to to ensure the smooth functioning of the government. But sometimes what happens is the Parent Act is declared null and void, but the law at the local level from which is based on the Parent Act keeps continuing. So in this case, Supreme Court has made this observation that you cannot continue any law whose Parent Act has been declared null and void. Okay, so here the observation came in a case filed by the Kerala State Electricity Board against the Kerala Electricity Supply Code, which was formed in 2014. So they said delegated legislation should not exceed the scope of the Parent Act. Whatever has been declared in the Parent Act, okay, state authorities or maybe the lower authorities cannot exceed the limit, the ceiling under which that particular law has been made. Okay, so let's see further. What did the court say again? So this was the case study. This was the example. This was the case where this particular observation was made. What was the case? Misappropriation of funds in Malur, Karnataka. So audit scrutiny in this particular case in Malur, Karnataka revealed that misappropriation of the funds of around 1.7 crore has been taken. So executive officer of the Taluk Panchayat in Malur committed the fraud by submitting fraudulent claims of works and supply bills. So उन्होंने fraud किया था, and then sub treasury officer facilitated the misappropriation by passing the fraudulent bills without proper checks. तो एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर ने बिल बनाए फर्जी एंड देन नेक्स्ट सब ट्रेजरी ऑफिसर ने उसको फॉरवर्ड कर दिया. द सुप्रीम कोर्ट हेल्ड दैट delegated legislation including the rules and regulations should supplement the parliamentary statute and not replace it. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे वही चीज आ रही थी कि डेलीगेटेड लेजिस्लेशन में ऐसा ऐसा लिखा हुआ है एंड वी फॉलोड द लॉ. दैट्स व्हाई सुप्रीम कोर्ट सेड यू कैन नॉट ट्विस्ट एंड ट्वीक द exact law, parent law made by the higher authority just to do your misappropriation activities. Okay, you cannot tweak the rules, twist the rules. You will have to go by the rules. So this was the observation by the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court also came up with these circumstances where delegated legislation can be declared invalid. So these are the conditions. First is violation of the fundamental rights or Indian constitutional provisions. If any law or the delegated legislation is leading to the violation of the fundamental rights of the citizens, then they can declare any particular delegated legislation null and void. Next is ultra vires the Parent Act and lacks conformity to the substantive provisions. What is substantive provisions? First of all, what is Parent Act? Parent Act is just like this Panchayati Raj Act came for different states. Okay, but the model law was created by the parliament at the center level. So if the particular state brings up a Panchayati Raj Act which is different from the basic fundamental framework laid down by the Indian Constitution in the 73rd and 74th Amendment Act, then that particular legislation by the state can be declared null and void just because it is not within the substantive provisions have not been followed by while creating the Child Act or maybe Daughter Act, you can say. So this is the second condition. Next is lack of legislative competence by the executive to frame the rule or regulation. Sometimes it also happens that executives who are framing the rules based on the law, they might be lacking that particular legislative competence. So on this criteria also, ki the officer was not qualified enough to frame the laws, can also court can also declare a particular delegated legislation null and void. Next, if a particular manifest arbitrariness and unreasonableness, if this has been the reason to struck down a particular law, then all the legislation, delegated legislation associated with the parent law will also be struck down. Okay. Next is prohibition of respective operation without express authorization. Okay. What does this mean? Retrospective operation without express authorization. Okay. If a particular law has been framed, okay, this retrospective things happen usually in the civil cases. So what do they do? Is if a particular legislation had a loophole, so when they will bring a new law and they will say ki this thing is valid retrospectively, means even if the law comes suppose on 1st January, but it is also correcting the wrongs that were existing before 1st January 2023. So this can be done retrospectively, but here the court is saying if this particular retrospective operation practice is being done without express authorization, if the particular authority has not authorized for the same, or the existing law is not authorizing for the same, this will also be prohibited. This can be declared, this can be struck down again. Next, essential legislative functions cannot be delegated to the executive branch. This is also very important. For example, there is this separation of power doctrine. Okay, so whatever lies within the purview of legislature should stay within the purview of the legislature. It's not it is not the work of executive to create a law. So there should be certain clearly defined guidelines. So court calls this essential legislative functions. So creation of new laws should lie with the legislature itself. Here is what is being said by the court, ki whatever are the essential legislative function that cannot be created, laws cannot be created by the executives on executive branch for them. Okay, now let's come to, we have got the idea about the what is delegated legislation from the scratch. Okay, first of all, it is also known as secondary or maybe subordinate legislation. What does subordinate mean? Someone under your under your authority, under the hierarchy. So this is also known as secondary legislation. So what does it involve? It involves passing the lawmaking powers from higher authorities to the lower authority. If I'm not free right now, I can give my authority to pass. Suppose I am a higher authority and I am not present right now, or maybe I am very busy, and maybe I do not want to get bothered again and again for this everything. So I am passing this particular authority to the lower ones. So this particular thing is called and in case of legislature, this thing is called delegated legislation. Means my law making power, I am giving it to someone else so that the functioning of the government gets smoothened, and they have not to they always not have to come back to me for every permission here. So this is called delegated legislation. So the term is the exercise of the legislative authority by the representatives who are inferior or under the control of legislature. So whatever, there is L1 level, that is L2 level. If L1 at the higher authority has legislative powers, he or she is giving his or her power to the level 2 authority to create the laws, to frame the laws and get them implemented. So this particular thing is called delegation. So delegation occurs because members of the legislature cannot immediately address every issue. Again, वो regular firefighting के लिए, leading to the delegation of the certain duties to the legal bodies कि भाई आप हमारे behalf पे you do the thing and we are giving you authority on our behalf. Okay. So what is the purpose? It is there to save the legislative time so that they can focus on more important issues. respond quickly to the new developments and allow flexibility and expertise. Sometimes every problem needs not to be sorted out at the topmost level. So this particular thing is being exercised through this delegated legislation. Delegation of legislative power is necessary due to the administrative complexities and specialized knowledge. Sometimes people at the ground level are more equipped and more aware about the proper issue, and they know more about how can this particular problem be fixed. So let them give the authority and let them decide on our behalf. If anything is wrong, we can definitely override it. Okay, so this is the idea, and I have, through an example, I am demonstrating this. So here it says, I am an act of parliament and I am giving power to a local authority to give more detailed rules, to frame more detailed rules on my behalf to the local authority. So here is the local authority. Now they will write the piece of legislation on with other orders from upper authority, and so this particular piece of law can be called anything, and in case of local government it is called a bylaw. Okay. So this is all about the meaning of delegated legislation. So let's come to the history, how it has evolved in India, this particular thing. So it started with the Charter Act of 1833. Then it marked the start of power delegation during the East India Company's political dominance in India. So for the first time we hear this particular word from Charter Act of 1833. Okay, and this can be asked anytime in prelims, so you should keep in mind for this. Charter Act of 1833 gave the Governor General in Council exclusive control over the administrative function, including establishing, amending and repealing laws applicable to all. So this particular charter was passed by the British Parliament, and then the Governor General in Council working in India on behalf of British, they were given the powers to fix the things on the ground. Okay, then came this particular Government of India Act 1935. This introduced significant legislating delegation provisions, ending the need for force assignment and appointment of laws. Okay, तो हर बार emergency basis पे upper level पे law pass हो, उसके बजाय let the give powers to the local authorities. So this was happened in Government of India Act 1935. Next, the Committee of Ministers' Powers was done. Again, important development. It presented and approved a report supporting the delegation plan. Okay, so let's see next part. Next is the important types of delegated legislation. This is the generalized version of important types of delegated legislation. This is on world level. Okay, so first is orders in council. It was issued by the Queen and the Privy Council in case of British, and it is used for the matters of national importance. It is still there in the British country. Next, statutory instrument. The legislation that are issued by the statutory instrument. This is the most common form of delegated legislation, and it is issued by the government ministers on their behalf to let others frame the rules on their behalf. Next is the bylaws, the system of bylaws. It is created, these laws are created by the local authorities or public corporations, and this is applicable to special geographical areas and industries. तो छोटे छोटे geography में अगर law बनाना है छोटा सा, तो उसको बोल दिया by law, a kind of law, small type of law. Okay. Also there this classification, one is title based. So what kind of things are happening, so we can classify such legislation on the basis of this, like rules, some call them rules, and then regulations, and some are at the more local level we call it bylaws. Okay, next is purpose based. How what is the purpose of your legislation delegation? See, okay, so here we classify the type of delegated legislation based on nature or maybe extent or what is the purpose. Next is the classification of legislation based on authority based. So whoever is the authority, that also decides the type of delegated legislations. Next is discretion based. If this particular law has been based on the discretion of particular, जैसे discretionary powers of governor, so there if governor is framing certain rules or laws, that will be considered under discretion based delegations. Okay, so these are the types overall on a general basis. In India, types of legislative delegations are of three types. First is rule making power. this is the kind of delegation power to the executive. On behalf of legislature, rules of particular act are framed by the respective civil servants or the executive power. Okay, next is subordinate legislation. So this legislation is done by local authorities like municipal corporation, district boards and panchayats. Okay, next level is administrative adjudication, that is the solving of the cases at the administrative level. So here it is done by quasi judicial bodies, which is a mix of administrative cum judicial powers. So they are empowered to adjudicate citizens rights. Okay, just like NGT, just like Central Administrative Tribunal for UPSC related stuffs. Okay, so these are the delegated legislation. These are the examples of delegated legislation in India. Now next is, what is the purpose or what is the need, or what are the arguments in favor of delegated legislation, why they should exist. First is, the complexity of the modern governance requires flexibility in laws and regulation. So the two keywords here are flexibility as well as complexity. So because there is complexity, so there should be flexibility in, we can modify our rules according to the situation and geography and the culture. Next is, need for expertise in technical areas necessitates specialized rule making. Sometimes like we want to create the rules for waste management, or maybe the functioning of the dams, functioning of the bridges. So someone from the technical expertise will be required. Okay, so this kind of delegation is done to take care of such technical areas. Next is, delegation allows quick and efficient responses to the emergencies and policy changes. ठीक है, तो अगेन इसमें भी वही है कि भाई जब क्राइसिस लाइक सिचुएशन आ गई, तो अब आप पहली अथॉरिटी के ऑर्डर के लिए बैठे रहोगे, सो दिस विल नॉट बी एफिशिएंट रिस्पॉन्स. तो दिस इज डन टू प्रोवाइड टू इंश्योर द क्विक एंड एफिशिएंट रिस्पॉन्सेज टू द क्राइसिस सिचुएशंस. नेक्स्ट इज, डेलीगेशन ऑफ रूटीन फंक्शंस इंप्रूव्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एफिशिएंसी. अगर जो काम रोज होना है, अगर उसके लिए सपोज आपको अपना बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट बनवाना है, और इस चीज के लिए अगर आपके लिए पीएम के साइन लगने लगे, या मे बी सीएम के साइन लगने लगे, या चीफ सेक्रेटरी के लगने लगे, तो इट विल बिकम वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू cater to the demands of the people, to solve the problems of the people. That's why this particular thing is being done, कि भाई administrative efficiency improve हो जाए. Next is, delegated legislation is subject to parliamentary scrutiny and ensures accountability. So this is a argument in favor कि जो भी delegated legislation आता है, parliament can any time scrutinize it and can take it back, and this ensures the accountability of this particular legislation. ऐसा नहीं है कि अपने लेवल पे कुछ भी कर रहे हैं, whims and fancies पे नहीं होता. Higher authority can take it back any time. Next is, time saving of the legislature. ठीक है, so that legislature can focus on more important issues, more purposeful issues, meaningful issues. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज, नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट इज कंसल्टेशन विद द अफेक्टेड पार्टीज. ठीक है, अगर आप लेजिस्लेटिव डेलीगेशन कर देते हो, डेलीगेट कर देते हो अपना लेजिस्लेटिव पावर को, तो द consultation become more effective, right? Like for example, in after the past removal of article 370, there is this committee was made to form the local laws. ठीक है, तो वहां पे एक्सटेंसिव स्टेक होल्डर कंसल्टेशन हुआ. तो दिस इज द एग्जांपल ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर डेलीगेटेड लेजिस्लेशन. नेक्स्ट इज, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी एंड अडेप्टेबिलिटी इन रूल मेकिंग. ठीक है, इससे जब आप रूल मेकिंग दे दोगे वहां, तो वो अपने हिसाब से चीजें मॉडिफाई कर सकता है, बट एट द सेम टाइम यहाँ पे ओवरसाइट है पार्लियामेंट का. ठीक है, दे आर टेकिंग केयर कि कुछ अल्ट्रा वायर्स न चला जाए, जो कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी बोला. नेक्स्ट इज एक्सपर्ट ड्रिवन लेजिस्लेशन. ठीक है, समटाइम्स अगेन लाइक स्पेसिफिक एरियाज का अगर आपको डिसाइड करना है, स्पेशलिस्ट एरियाज का डिसाइड करना है, तो उसी से रिलेटेड है. नेक्स्ट इज यूटिलाइज्ड ड्यूरिंग पार्लियामेंट्स नॉन सेशन पीरियड्स. पार्लियामेंट इज नॉट इन सेशन थ्रू आउट द ईयर. ठीक है, तो जिस टाइम वो सेशन में नहीं है, उस टाइम कौन लॉ बनाए, तो डेफिनेटली डेलीगेशन ऑफ द अथॉरिटी इज रिक्वायर्ड. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज अफेक्टिव इन एड्रेसिंग इमरजेंसीज. ठीक है, जो भी क्राइसिस सिचुएशन आ रही है उसे केटर करने के लिए जरूरी है. नेक्स्ट इज अलाउज फॉर एक्सपेरिमेंटल इम्प्लीमेंटेशन. ओके, सपोज वी हैव टू रन अ पायलट प्रोजेक्ट समवेयर, बट लॉ इज इन कमिंग इन द प्लेस. तो अब इफ द पावर लाइज विद द पार्लियामेंट ओनली, देन दिस विल टेक टाइम, बिकॉज जब उनका सेशन होगा देन दे विल पास द लॉ. सो टू अवॉइड सच सिचुएशन, टू डू एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन ऑफ द डेवलपमेंटल एक्टिविटीज. ठीक है, so it is very much required. So these are the important points which explain the purpose of all such legislation. Now I am discussing here the important Supreme Court cases and the observations made by the Supreme Court regarding the legislations, this delegated legislation. So first is the demonetization validity. Supreme Court upheld the validity of the delegated legislation by supporting the center's 2016 decision on demonetization. ये इसका काफी criticism भी हुआ था. That's why this particular news also motivated me to choose this particular issue. Next important case is St. John Teachers Training Institute versus Regional Director NCTE. So here delegated legislation considered a necessary evil and in infringement on the doctrine of separation of powers. क्योंकि legislature अपना कुछ पावर उसको एग्जीक्यूटिव को दे रहा है यहाँ पे. दैट्स वाई यहाँ पे सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने एक ऑब्जर्वेशन दिया कि delegated legislation is considered a necessary evil and that is why an infringement to the doctrine of separation of power. तो अगर आपके पास doctrine of separation of power से related कोई क्वेश्चन आता है तो उसके सपोर्ट में आर्ग्यूमेंट में आप ये वाला केस कोट कर सकते हो. नेक्स्ट इज DS Grewal versus State of Punjab and others. Here court held that Article 312 of the Constitution deals with the powers of delegated legislation. So which is the particular article attached to the delegated legislation? So here it is Article 312 जो कोर्ट ने खुद बोला अपने मुंह से, ठीक है. And you can quote the name of the case also. Next is Hamdard Dawakhana versus Union of India. Here Supreme Court struck down delegation of power as vague in this case. In this particular case Supreme Court ने एक particular delegated legislation को struck down भी किया हुआ है. तो you can to substantiate your argument you can quote this case. Next is evolution of delegated legislation. Supreme Court has recognized it is as a necessary and pragmatic need for a modern welfare state in a 1973 ruling. तो इस केस का आप मेंशन कर सकते हो कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज कॉल्ड इट मैंडेटरी एंड नेसेसिटी एंड pragmatic need to reconsider delegated legislation whenever required, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज what are the important issues associated with the delegated legislation? Why is it in news every time? So first is the low scrutiny by the parliamentary committees, ठीक है. स्टडी हैज शोन मतलब बहुत कम स्क्रूटनी होती है डेलीगेटेड लेजिस्लेशंस की. एक बार स्टेट को दे दिया या लोकल लेवल पे दे दिया उसको कभी रिकंसिडर नहीं करते कि क्या इज इट वर्किंग इफेक्टिवली ऑन द ग्राउंड और नॉट. तो इसमें एक स्टडी आई है बिटवीन 2008 to 12 ओनली 101 पीसेस ऑफ डेलीगेटेड लेजिस्लेशन आउट ऑफ 6985 had been scrutinized by the committees. यानी less than 1% of the laws of the delegated legislation are scrutinized by the parliament. So this is a cause of worry. Next is high frequency of the rule notifications. Since the enforcement of the Companies Act 2013, the MCA has notified 56 rules under the Act and issued 181 circulars. So this is the very high frequency. One after the day, मतलब एक दिन के बाद आते ही रहते हैं legislation, रूल्स आते ही रहते हैं. डेलीगेटेड लेजिस्लेशन दे दिया इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप रोज चीजें बदलो, ठीक है. द inefficiencies associated with the implementation of the GST Act also exposed this evil of this delegated legislation कि भाई हर दूसरे दिन कुछ नया रूल आ जाता था फिर चेंज करना पड़ता था. तो दिस वाज causing havoc in the public. इस वजह से उस टाइम demonetization followed by GST gave a big blow to the Indian economic system. Next is involvement of the unelected individuals and potential political motives, ठीक है. ऐसे जो डेलीगेटेड लेजिस्लेशन दे दिए जाते हैं यहाँ पे कई बार अनइलेक्टेड इंडिविजुअल्स का भी इन्वॉल्वमेंट हो जाता है एंड पॉलिटिकल मोटिव्स से भी ऐसा किया जाता है, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट अब्यूज ऑफ एग्जीक्यूटिव पावर्स एंड पोटेंशियल मिसयूज. तो वही एग्जीक्यूटिव पावर अगर दे दिया तो वहाँ पे वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट, ब्यूरोक्रेट एंड पॉलिटिशियन नेक्सस दैट इशू कि भाई आप उनके साथ मिलके कैपिटलिस्ट के साथ मिलके ऐसा ना कोई नेक्सस बना रहे हो. ऑल सच क्रोनी कैपिटलिज्म विच इज कॉल्ड, ठीक है. तो इन सब चीज़ों को भी केटर करना होगा कि भाई ऐसा ना हो कि डेलीगेटेड लेजिस्लेशन बस एक पर्टिकुलर पॉलिटिशियन या एक पर्टिकुलर मोटिव को ही सपोर्ट करने के लिए अब्यूज किया जा रहा हो इस पर्टिकुलर लेजिस्लेशन का. सो नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट इज ओवरलैपिंग फंक्शंस बिटवीन डेलीगेटेड अथॉरिटीज एंड लेजिस्लेटर्स. सो दिस इज अ स्ट्रक्चरल इशू. कई बार ऐसा हो जाता है कि भाई मैंने लॉ बनाया, मेरा काम था लॉ बनाना, बट उसके बिहाफ पे एग्जीक्यूटिव ने बना दिया, तो दोनों आपस में कहीं ना कहीं कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होगा. तो these situations can also be predicted. Next is weakened legislative control and diminishing the importance of legislature. ठीक है, जब सारे ही रूल्स और लॉज और सर्कुलर आपने एग्जीक्यूटिव को बनाने दे दिए, what is the purpose of appointing legislature in India then? So this is kind of weakening the authority of the legislator. तो यहाँ पे इस पे क्वेश्चन उठता ही है, लॉजिकल क्वेश्चन है. नेक्स्ट इज लैक ऑफ पब्लिक कंसल्टेशन एंड ओवरसाइट. when people are executives and bureaucrats are creating so many number of laws and rules, there is no public scrutiny because they never sit with the public and decide these things. So this should be a cause of concern. Next is blurring of the line between law making and implementation. कि भाई वही लॉ बना रहा है वही implement कर रहा है, तो फिर उसको चेक कौन करेगा, तो कौन, दिस शुड बी क्वेश्चन कि भाई बनाने वाला और इम्प्लीमेंट करने वाला अलग अलग होना चाहिए, because someone is expert at law making and someone is expert at implementing them. Violation of the separation of powers and potential for irregularities. So this is the important point कि भाई this can be put second or third in the priority order, क्योंकि ये बहुत बड़ा important point है and structural conceptual point है कि भाई separation of powers जो आपने define किया है, that is getting hindered somewhere, executive creating law on the behalf of authority, legislature. So this is infringing upon the jurisdiction of the legislature here. ठीक है. Next is safeguards. What are the existing safeguards to maintain the check on uncontrollable delegated legislation? So first is parliamentary safeguard. How is it existing? The committees on subordinate legislature is existing. ठीक है. What do? They scrutinize the rules and submit reports to the speaker of Lok Sabha. So this is a system in place already है. तो ये कमेटी में डिस्कस होता है ऐसे जो भी सबऑर्डिनेट लेजिस्लेशंस बनते हैं कि कौन सा लेजिस्लेशन वापस लिया जाना चाहिए, इज इट वर्किंग इफेक्टिवली और नॉट, इज इट गेटिंग मिसयूज्ड और नॉट. ठीक है. सो नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज पार्लियामेंट कैन ओवरराइड एनी मिसचीफ इन लॉ मेकिंग बाय द एग्जीक्यूटिव्स. Parliament has the authority always. ठीक है. They can anytime take back the delegated legislation and they can decide and they can also override. They can bring a new law that terms the delegated legislation null and void. Next is judicial safeguards. What are the role of the judiciary in this? Judiciary can declare delegated legislative acts invalid if they violate the constitution or move away from the parent act. जो अभी ऑब्जर्वेशन आया था सुप्रीम कोर्ट का, उसी से रिलेटेड बात कर रहा है कि अगर पेरेंट एक्ट से कहीं दूर भाग के जा रहा है एंड इफ द फंडामेंटल राइट्स आर गेटिंग वायलेटेड, कोर्ट कैन कम इन एनी टाइम, एनी लॉ, दे कैन चैलेंज एनी लॉ. नेक्स्ट इज सजेशंस फॉर डेलीगेटेड लेजिस्लेशन. हाउ कैन वी मेक देम मोर इफेक्टिव एंड मोर catering to the demands of the public at large. So first is amend parliamentary procedures and establish specialized committees for effective control. और पार्लियामेंट्री प्रोसीजर जो जितने कॉम्प्लेक्स वाले हैं उसको और सिंपल करो एंड स्पेशलाइज्ड कमिटीज बनाओ फॉर इफेक्टिव ओवरसाइट ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर डेलीगेटेड लॉज. ठीक है. तो अभी जो जैसे बहुत लूजली काम करती है कमिटी ऑन सबऑर्डिनेट लेजिस्लेशन, जैसे आपने अभी देखा था कि सिर्फ 101 ऑफ द सम 7000 रूल्स एंड लॉज हैव बीन स्क्रूटिनाइज्ड. तो दिस शुड बी टेकन केयर ऑफ. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज स्ट्रेंथन सिटीजन एंगेजमेंट, मीडिया इन्वॉल्वमेंट एंड इंश्योर ट्रांसपेरेंसी. जितना ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा हो सके सिविल सोसाइटी को इन्वॉल्व करो, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कंसल्टेशन करो एंड देन ट्राई टू इन्वॉल्व मीडिया एज मच एज पॉसिबल. नेक्स्ट इज दिस विल इंश्योर ट्रांसपेरेंसी इन द फंक्शनिंग्स ऑफ द डेलीगेटेड लेजिस्लेशन. नेक्स्ट इज कोर्ट्स शुड डिटरमाइन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल रिस्ट्रिक्शन ऑन legislation. They can also create a system, they can give certain guidelines on which on whose basis some particular delegated legislation can be challenged. So court has already issued some of them. Again delegated legislation is necessary for complex needs and development. तो यहाँ पे इन्होंने वो भी उसका need भी reiterate किया कि it is required very much. Implement safeguards and controls for proper oversight. तो जो भी सेफगार्ड्स प्रोवाइड करी गई हैं उनको इम्प्लीमेंट भी करो, मतलब सिर्फ वो देखने के लिए नहीं है. जैसे कि बात कही कि भाई 7000 आपने डेलीगेटेड लेजिस्लेशन दे दिए बट यू आर स्क्रूटनाइजिंग ओनली 101. दैट शोज कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ लैक ऑफ ट्रांसपेरेंसी एंड अकाउंटेबिलिटी इज देयर एट दैट लेवल. नेक्स्ट इज इनेबलिंग एक्ट एम्पावर्स डेलीगेटेड लेजिस्लेशन. तो जो भी एक्ट है उसको आप रिकंसिडर करो, उसको देखो और ऐसे एक्ट्स लेके आओ जो डेलीगेटेड लेजिस्लेशन को और एम्पावर करते हैं. नेक्स्ट इज स्ट्रेंथन पार्लियामेंट्री कंट्रोल इन इंडिया ओवरऑल लेवल पे कि भाई पार्लियामेंट्री कंट्रोल को और बढ़ाओ. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज अडॉप्ट इफेक्टिव मेजर्स टू प्रिवेंट मिसयूज ऑफ द डेलीगेटेड लॉ पावर्स. ठीक है. तो दीज आर द इंपॉर्टेंट सजेशन which you can take into account and note down. So finally the final word what should be our line of thought to conclude this particular issue. So this is there. Delegated legislation is necessary due to complex social organization and developmental activities. दोनों ही डेवलपमेंट का काम करना और सोशल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को मैनेज करना, सोशल डिमांड्स को मैनेज करना, सोशो इकोनॉमिक इक्वालिटी लाने के हमारे जो मोटिव है उसको सॉल्व करना इज वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोसेस. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज नेसेसरी to give flexibility and autonomy to the local level people who are working on ground level. They are more informed towards them. Then safeguards and controls such as unrestricted court jurisdiction and uniform procedures are essential. We are giving them the powers, but we should take a control on how they are using it. So we should continuously scrutinize this. And this is happening at two levels, one at the parliamentary committee level, second at the courts level. Next is enabling acts delegate legislative power to the expert bodies. तो जो भी ऐसे acts आते हैं, ठीक है, तो expert bodies को मिले ये delegation rather than normal executives. Next is strengthening the parliamentary control through fortified advisory committees. Fortified means you can create a system within the system. कि भाई these particular group of people will see to such laws, such a B kind of laws can be taken up by the B type of people. Such things can be done, and dedicated law is essential. Next is embrace robust control measures to prevent misuse and ensure a harmonious balance of power. You can always use such keywords to put a weight to your conclusion. तो हार्मोनियस बैलेंस ऑफ पावर ये टर्म हमेशा सुप्रीम कोर्ट बार बार यूज करता रहता है, तो यू शुड कीप इन माइंड दिस पर्टिकुलर कीवर्ड while trying your conclusion. So this is all about this particular delegated legislation in India. Hope you like this particular video. Please share your feedback in the comment section, and you can like, share and subscribe, and stay connected to our other initiatives also, like daily current affairs MCQs, daily editorial analysis, and as well as this particular topic which is oriented towards the mains. Thank you and have a nice day.